This will sound very strange, but the FEMA National Alert Test on October 4th, 2023, the nationwide emergency alert test, is part of a prophecy from the Christian God of the Bible that is predicting that Barack Obama will become the 48th president on November 21st, 2023. This prophecy also includes the prophetic Field of Dreams baseball game in the same cornfield in which the movie was filmed in 2021, as well as the extremely prophetic Chicago White Sox playoff game in 2005, in which Barack Obama threw out the ceremonial first pitch, as well as the 1919 Chicago Black Sox World Series scandal, which the plot of the movie Field of Dreams is about. And out of this scandal, the appointment of the first commissioner of baseball, who in a moment of crisis was given unchecked power over every person in baseball, similar to how the Antichrist Barack Obama, in a moment of crisis, will be given unchecked power over every person in America. And the 18th Amendment, which restricted buying and selling alcohol, similar to how the Antichrist will restrict buying and selling rationed food to only those who have taken the mark of the Antichrist. And the defeat of the Antichrist on the Temple Mount, which is what pictures on the pitching mound symbolize, on October 12th, 2024, the Day of Atonement, by the Lord at his second coming, are all part of a prophecy from the Christian God of the Bible that are predicting that Barack Obama will become the 48th president on November 21st, 2023. The date that this video was posted proves that this prediction is being made ahead of time, as does this time-stamped email and forensic notes PDF document. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward these to you. FEMA National Alert Test. This email was composed on Thursday, October 5th, 2023. If you are skeptical for some reason, please email me and I will forward this to you. The FEMA National Alert Test on October 4th, 2023 was exactly 23 months after November 4th, 2021, a super date for signs. It included the details of the thing that begins with an M-A-N-D and ends with an E. All right, you can read it here if you are watching the video. Begins with an M-A-N, ends with an E. Okay, and it's what I call a super date for signs, this November 4th date. There were so many profound signs, and this date was expected in advance, as I will also explain. So, it was a super date for prophetic signs, and it included the details of the M-A-N-D, ends with an E, for the thing, for the mark of the Antichrist, for 84 million of those living in the U.S. One reason that November 4th, 2021 was known since August of 2021 to be a prophetic date, to be a date that God is pointing to for prophetic signs, to be a date to expect major prophetic signs, is that it was 84 days after August 12th, 2021. The day of the Field of Dreams, which hints at the 1919 Black Sox through the plot of this movie, the most iconic baseball movie ever made, baseball game, sign, okay? So on this day, this was the first, they've had it for a couple of years now, but this was the first one where one game of the Major League Baseball season per year is played at the same location where the Field of Dreams movie was filmed, next to the cornfield in Iowa. So this was the day of the Field of Dreams prophetic sign. Because of the Field of Dreams movie, they played a baseball game there in Iowa on August 12th, 2021. That date was exactly 190 months, which hints at the number 19 and the 1919 Chicago Black Sox, which is the plot of the movie, a big part of the plot. Okay, this game and in the game played the Chicago White Sox against the New York Yankees. This game was exactly 190 months. This game involving the Chicago White Sox in the Field of Dreams cornfield, a movie about the 1919 Chicago Black Sox. Okay, this game was exactly 190 months after Barack Obama threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Pitchers on the pitching mound symbolize the Antichrist on the Temple Mount in God's prophetic signs. Obama threw out the first pitch at the extremely prophetic Chicago White Sox Game 2, which hinted at the second presidency, and also the second coming of Lord Jesus Christ, playoff game on October 12th, 2005. Okay, again, this baseball game that was involving the Chicago White Sox, the Field of Dreams game, was exactly 190 months after the other prophetic baseball game in which Obama threw out the ceremonial first pitch. It was a playoff game involving the Chicago White Sox, and that was on October 12, 2005. Okay? It was game 2 of the playoffs series. Okay? And this game, the one in 2005, included the most controversial umpire call made in a playoff game in history. Okay, the most controversial playoff game in history, which is explained in the Black Sox 1919 Black Sox prophecy video. So there'll be more details in the other video. And it's amazing. So make sure you watch that other video, of course. Pitcher number 45, this is the controversial umpire call I'm talking about now. Pitcher number 45, which hinted at the 45th president for the Los Angeles Angels, was robbed of the win. Okay, because of the controversial call, which would have ended the inning which would have ended the inning, and would have probably led to the Angels winning the game. It was near the end of the game. It might have even been the last inning. I forget. But regardless, that was the summation of the significance. The Angels were robbed of the win. This pitcher was robbed because the controversial call involved the pitch. The pitch didn't bounce into the dirt, but the umpire thought it bounced into the dirt, allowing the batter to reach first base when he should have been struck out. Okay, it should have been a strikeout. All right, and that should have ended the inning, or I think even maybe ended the game. But as a result, the Chicago White Sox went on to win the game after that. Okay, so anyway, this most controversial call that robbed the win for the 45th, for player number 45, hinted at, and this hinted at, which hinted at the 1919 Chicago Black Sox cheating scandal, and was exactly 19 years. Okay, and so the rob of the win for player number 45, of course, was hinting at the shoplifted referendum for the 45th you-know-what, right? The 45th leader of the United States, right? The 45th leader of the nation. You know who I'm talking about, all right? And so that's what this hinted at. And as a result of that shoplifted referendum, the Antichrist will return to the president's office. Right? Okay. All of this hinted at, because this was the White Sox we're talking about, the Chicago White Sox, which all of this hinted at the 1919 Chicago Black Sox cheating scandal. In 1919, when the Chicago Black Sox conspired to throw the series to gain gambling profits. Okay, and this game in 2005, in which Obama threw out the first pitch from the pitching mound, and pitchers on the pitching mound symbolize the Antichrist on the Temple Mount in Bible prophecy, this game was exactly 19 years before the Antichrist's defeat on the Temple Mount at the Lord's second coming on October 12th, 2024, the Day of Atonement. And the prediction being made in this video will prove this. And the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction is to prove this controversial thing, which is that, one, the day is knowable. Matthew 24:36 is a verse that is mistranslated and misinterpreted. The "no one knows the day" line, the most quoted prophecy, the most quoted line in the Bible by Christians, isn't true, their interpretation of it. And furthermore, the day is known, and it has been known for 7 years, for 6 years. Since 2017, this date was known. Because, anyway. The purpose for the prediction from God, the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction, is to prove what I am saying. Make no mistake. And to not appreciate that is to miss entirely this prediction from God and the point of this video and video channel. You might as well turn off the video now and do something more productive with your time. Because believe me, I know far better than you why God has given me a voice through this prediction. Okay, so, which is why the walk-off game-winning hit of this game we're talking about in 2005 was hit by the player named Creedy, which hints at Creed, the Christian Creed, number 24. Because it hints at 19 years later, exactly, and the Day of Atonement in 2024, and the win of Christ over the Antichrist. That's exactly what this sign was for the purpose of. New York Yankees Aaron Judge, number 99, hit his 24th home run of the season at the Field of Dreams game, 190 months exactly after player number 24 hit his walk-off game-winning hit on the day that Obama threw the first pitch, which was 9 months and 9 days, which hints at Aaron Judge, number 99, after Obama was sworn in as a U.S. Senator. All right, now, in God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections, which is only being explained on this channel, the number 9 is the most important number, as from the Bible, it symbolizes God's judgment. So that's why exactly 9 months and 9 days. All right, from Obama's being sworn in to him throwing out the first pitch. And this ties into the connection to player number 99, as I just explained, because 190 months exactly later, player number 99 hit his 24th home run of the season, which is also a hint at 2024. Okay, which was for the purpose of pointing back to number 24's game-winning hit, the walk-off game-winning hit to end the game exactly 19 years, hence the 190 months before the Day of Atonement and Barack Obama, the Antichrist's defeat at the second coming of Lord Jesus Christ on the Temple Mount. Okay, that October 12, 2005 Chicago White Sox playoff game is exactly 19 years before October 12, 2024. It was exactly 190 months before the Field of Dreams game, and it was exactly 1,019 months, which hints at 9/11, after, and so does 19 and 190. And by the way, 190 is the 19th triangular number. So that's another confirmation that what we were talking about is true. It's not simply subtracting a 0 to get 19 to confirm the 19 years connection. Okay, so if you can visualize this, there's no diagram, so it's a little abstract. So I'll just repeat it. This date of this game, October 12, 2005, is exactly 19 years before the second coming, and it was exactly 190 months before the Field of Dreams game, all right? Now that 190 months hints at the 19th triangular number, which in a triangle of numbers, the last number in the 19th row is a 190. But also it's hinted at with subtracting a 0 and you get 19, which confirms the 19 years connection. Okay, so you have these two 19 number connections from this game. And what is also amazing, though, is that this game was exactly 1009, and the number 19 hints at 9/11, because through the 9/11 events, God pointed to Isaiah chapter 9, verses 10 through 11. And 19 is 9 plus 10. And the number 10 symbolizes God's perfection, and so 19 hints at God's perfect judgment. Okay, so again, this playoff game in 2005 was exactly 1,019 months, which hints at 9/11, after the first commissioner of baseball, Judge, which is hinted at with Aaron Judge. Okay, so the number 9 symbolizes God's judgment, I forgot to mention, and his number is 99, and so his name is Judge. That's just amazing. So anyway, this involvement of Aaron Judge in all of this is actually for the purpose of pointing back to this man named Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Okay, and he became the first commissioner of baseball exactly 1,019 months before the playoff game in Chicago. Okay, and he was given unchecked power over every person in baseball on November 12th, 1920. He was given this power in a moment of crisis as a result of the 1919 Black Sox cheating scandal, which is why the connection to the Chicago White Sox in 2005 with Obama and the controversial call by the umpire, etc. All right? The cheating, which robbed the win of player number 45, which hinted at you know what, as I just explained. Similarly, which will lead to the rise of the Antichrist as a result of the shoplifted referendum. Similarly, in a moment of crisis, the Antichrist, Barack Obama, who is from Chicago, will be given unchecked power over every person in America. Just like the first commissioner was given unchecked power over every person in baseball in a moment of crisis. Judge Kennesaw Mountain, okay, so that hints at Bama. The word Bama in Hebrew means high place, which in the Bible is a euphemism for the false religious worship that the Jews would conduct on the tops of mountains. And there's a lowercase b and an uppercase proper noun, a place in Palestine named Bama in the Bible. But anyway, Judge Kennesaw Mountain, which hints at Bama, the Antichrist, Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, died in that's his name, by the way. His parents named him Mountain. Okay, there's a mountain named Kennesaw. Okay, he died in 1944, which hints at the 44th president, and he died in Chicago. And Obama announced his run for the 44th presidency in Chicago. Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis came to power exactly 666 days, which is the number associated with the Antichrist in Bible prophecy, after the 18th Amendment, and 18 hints at 6 plus 6 plus 6, the number of the Antichrist, was ratified on January 16th, 1919. God used the 1919 Chicago Black Sox scandal sign to point to the 18th Amendment. The 18th Amendment restricted the buying and selling of alcohol. Similarly, the Antichrist will restrict the buying and selling of rationed food through digital programmable currency to only those who have taken the mark of the Antichrist. Similar to today's Civil War and how the thing is used as a weapon by the elitists against the perceived lesser citizens, prohibition was in essence of a movement by the elitist class, traditional Protestants, to oppress the lower class, Irish and Italian Catholics and German immigrants. The 18th Amendment was ratified exactly 969 months, which hints at the very prophetic number in the Bible, 969, as in the 969 years age that Methuselah died at at the time of the beginning of the flood judgment. Okay, so the 18th Amendment was ratified exactly, in this hints at judgment, in other words, 969 months before the 7.0 earthquake in Joshua Tree, California. This hints at the book of Joshua, and Joshua, who led the Israelites around the walls of security of the ancient city of Jericho before they blew trumpets, and then the walls of security of Jericho collapsed in God's judgment. And they did this in a prophetic 3 sets of 7, which is the reason for the 7.0 magnitude of the earthquake. They marched around once per day for 7 days, and then on the 7th day, they marched 7 times while blowing 7 trumpets. The 7.0 earthquake was exactly 188 months, which hints at the 188th word in Strong's Hebrew Old Testament Concordance, the word woe, ! Used in context of extreme judgment from God. Okay, so the 18th Amendment, okay, which is judgment, which is symbolic of the coming mark of the Antichrist and the rationing of food, right, as I just explained, that's exactly 969 months before this extremely prophetic 7.0 magnitude earthquake in Joshua Tree, California, which was exactly 188 months, which hints at trumpets in the book of Joshua, before trump, God's trumpet, because in archaic English the word trump means trumpet or the sounding of a trumpet, symbolically began his run for the White House with his symbolic descent down the golden escalator on June 16th, 2015. The symbolic beginning of it all, right? Which was exactly 73 weeks, which also hints at 3 sets of 7 in the book of Joshua and trumpets before he was elected the 45th president by 77 electoral votes. Okay, and the 45th again ties back to the player number 45 for the Los Angeles Angels. Los Angeles is Spanish for the angels, and this is a hint at the descent of the fallen angels in Revelation chapter 12, hence why the descent down the golden escalator. All right, and he won by 77 electoral votes on the same day that the leader of Israel, which hinted at Joshua, the leader of the Israelites, had been in power, Benjamin Netanyahu, for 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days, which was another hint at 3 sets of 7. And this election and all of this was 73 days, which is another 3 sets of 7, before President Trump was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days old, another 3 sets of 7, when he replaced the Antichrist in the White House on Trump's inauguration day. The Antichrist was born on August 4th, and he will become the 48th president. The date 8-4 hints at 4-8, because the date 8-4 is written as 4-8 in the rest of the world outside of the US. The date 8-4 hints at 4-8 and the 48th president. Furthermore, the date 8-4 is the 216th day of the calendar year, and 216 is 6 times 6 times 6, which hints at the number of the Antichrist, 666. Okay, so his birth date on the date 8-4 hints at the 48th president. The Field of Dreams, that's because he will be the 48th president. The Field of Dreams baseball game with player 99's home run was 84 days before the details of the MAND ends with an E for 84 persons inside America, and on with connections to November 4th, 2021 regarding the thing, which is the mark of the Antichrist. And make no mistake, the reason why God has given me a voice through this prediction is to prove that it is the mark of the Antichrist. It does not need additional something. It does not need additional technology or a form of false religious worship or a different dispensational age, supposedly, that comes after the supposed rapture of all Christians, supposedly. In fact, the reason why Christians have taken it, many of them, is because of this false doctrine, is judgment for it. As Jesus said, he's coming to make war on with the sword of his mouth on those that teach and have the works of the Nicolaitan doctrine, and this is a part of it, this dispensationalism doctrine. Okay, and commonly held objections that people have are answered in the snake bite video. But believe me, when the prediction comes to pass, it will prove that your commonly held objections based on your understanding of Bible prophecy are incorrect. It is the mark of the Antichrist, period. End of discussion, end of debate, no more controversy. It is the mark of the Antichrist, period. That's the purpose of the prediction. Okay, so let me just rewind here. The Field of Dreams baseball game with player 99's home run was 84 days, okay, before the details of the MAND, ends with an E, for the 84 people in America. And, okay, and the MAND ends with an E for the 84 persons, millions, was exactly 23 months, okay? And this 23 pairs with the 99. Okay, so this is how God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections works. It works on the principle of second and third and multiple witnesses confirming a matter, as the Bible says is required. And this is what makes what is being explained on this channel true and not a product of one's imagination and different and unique than everything else on the internet that claims to be an analysis of God's prophetic signs. And when we think about it, one simple way in which he would provide second witnesses is through pairing certain numbers together, such as 9 and 23. And I know this because I've spent from more than full-time hours from morning until night for 6 years studying God's true big picture of signs, patterns, and connections. And there are a lot of reasons for why God pairs 9 and 23. But one reason being is that the president became the president in 2009, and he's the basketball president who wore jersey number 23 when he played basketball in high school and will become the president again in 2023. Okay, so that's the reason for this 99's home run connection into this trail of signs that is involving this 23 months. Okay. So the mandate for the 84 million is 23 months, okay, before the FEMA National Alert Test on October 4th, 2023. Okay, now the 23 months also pairs with the number 44. Okay, because God pairs these numbers together too, because the 44th president, who is the basketball president, who wore jersey number 23 and will become the president again in 2023. Okay, so this, and the FEMA date, this is the big thing here. This is the climax. This is the crescendo here of this video. The FEMA National Alert Test on October 4th, 2023 is 48 days before the predicted date that Obama will become the 48th president. And again, 48 hints at 8-4, right? And as I'm saying, it connects with the 84 million. MAND ends with an E, right? So you have the 23 months from the 84 million to the National Alert Test and then 48 days to the 48th president on November 21st, 2023. This is the prediction. Okay, so that's mind-boggling. That's amazing. And let's just finish this. This connection is also 6 weeks and 6 days, which hints at the 66th book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, which describes the Antichrist. This connection of 48 days is also 1 month and 17 days, which hints at the number 117. The signs on November 4th, 2021 were about the number 117. Now, there is a must-watch video that you need to watch, which explains the huge importance for the number 117. It is titled, Harris's Plane Will Crash on 10/17 equals Eclipse Peaked at 1:17 p.m. It peaked at 1:17 p.m. over St. Louis, which is one reason why Kamala Harris is predicted to die in a plane crash in St. Louis on October 17th. But anyway, after this video, make sure you watch that other video. The signs on so the signs on November 4th, this MAND ends with an E date with the 84, right? We're all about, in a way, the number 117, which is astounding given that we have this 1 month and 17 days connection from this trail that includes this date. Okay, and 117 is 9 times 13. November 4th, 2021 was 9 months and 13 days after player number 44 died, after he took the mark of the Antichrist. And you know what I'm talking about. the home run king, right? And he died 6 + 6 + 6 days after he took the thing, which was on the first day of the 117th Congress, which for the first time ever, the Congress was opened with a ceremonial prayer to a pagan god instead of the God of the Bible. November 4th, 2021 was exactly 99 years after the discovery of King Tut's tomb in the Valley of Kings. And in the Bible, the king of Egypt is Antichrist king symbolism. And November 4th, 2021 was exactly 13 years after Obama, the Antichrist king, was first elected president on November 4th, 2008. 99 years and 13 years hint at 9 times 13, which equals 117. In fact, from Obama's election, we have a straightforward connection of 13 years, then 23 months, and then 48 days to his return to the presidency, which will be in 2023, which hints at 223, which is the 48th prime number, which is why he will become the 48th president in 2023. The connection in this trail of 23 months and then 48 days hints at 23, the year 2023, which hints at the 48th prime number, as the basketball president wore number 23. Okay, so this 23 months is what I'm saying, in other words, is very, very important. The whole point of this video is to explain how important it is that this national alert test was exactly 23 months after the November 4th, 2021 MAND and all the other signs that related to the thing, right, on that date, which I can't get into. I've explained it so many other times in other videos. And that in turn connects to all what I just explained with the 84 days to the trail to the Field of Dreams game and all of that. So there you have it. And the 84 hints at 48. That's why the 84 days that precedes the November 4th date in 2021. Because ultimately then it connects with 48 days. So if you could picture that, actually, you have 84 days, then 23 months, and then 48 days. It's like a reflection, a mirror, which is, again, what I'm saying is that the reason why the Antichrist was born on the date 8/4 is that it is a reflection, a mirror of the number 48 and the 48th president. One thing to add here that is to confirm the relevance of the 23 months in this trail, which is the key piece of the puzzle here, is that the Chicago White Sox went on after winning this series against the Los Angeles Angels. They went on to win the World Series and then thus breaking their supposed sports curse that went back to 1919. So more pointing back to the 1919 Black Sox scandal. The MVP of the World Series in 2005 when the White Sox won was player number 23. And this player's name is Jermaine Dye, which hints at, and it's spelled D-Y-E, which hints at Dyersville, the name of the location, the town in which the Field of Dreams baseball game is played. Dyersville. That's why this player's name is Dye. Dyersville is spelled D-Y-E-R-S-V-I-L-L-E. And the White Sox won the World Series in 2005, 9 months and 23 days after Obama was sworn in as a U.S. Senator. God frequently uses 9 months and 23 days connections because it is a pairing of 9 and 23, which, as I explained earlier, God does to confirm the signs and connections, but also reveal the identity of the Antichrist. Speaking of the number 223, which is the 48th prime number, the Chicago White Sox, the 2005 Chicago White Sox, who went on to win the World Series after Obama threw out the first pitch in the prophetic game. They won the World Series on October 26th, 2005, exactly 223 months before the resurrection rapture event, which will be on the day that the asteroid will hit Earth, which is described in Revelation chapter 8. And again, the rapture event, if you don't know what the rapture is, it's the escape, the evacuation, the disappearance instantly of God's faithful into heaven, and then they will return with Jesus, Lord Jesus, in his second coming. And so the number 223 hints at the 48th prime number. The Antichrist is the 48th president. The rapture is the rescue from the Antichrist 48th president. And we have this prophetic connection from Chicago and the White Sox, Obama's team, and all of what I explained in this video that's related to all of that. We have this prophetic exact 223 months. And also player number 23 won the MVP on that day. We have this exact 223 months to the day of the rapture and the rescue from the 48th Antichrist president. Also, October 26, 2005, the day that they won the World Series, is exactly 6 times 6 times 6 months, which since that's 666, the number of the Antichrist. And 6 times 6 times 6 months is also exactly 6 plus 6 plus 6 years, 18 years. Before, it is predicted that Israel will nuke Damascus, Syria, on October 26, 2023. All right, now, believe it or not, this is just the introduction. This is part 1. There is a part 2 to this prophecy that God is telling through the 1919 Chicago Black Sox scandal. There's much more to be said, and it's amazing, and make sure you watch part 2. Aliens and UFOs are demons masquerading as aliens and UFOs. Most people's spiritual experiences are demonic deception, especially if they are not a true follower of Christ. God became a man and died a horrible death at the hand of the ruler of this world, Satan, and then defeated death for you, so that you too can overcome death, which is the price that must be paid for sin. It is time to repent, which means to change one's ways and turn to God and become a disciple of Jesus. Please leave a like and upvote the video. And once this prediction has come to pass, share this video with everyone you know, and more. Don't stop sharing it everywhere in social media. It is essential that everyone immediately read the homepage of my website, TrumpPrediction.com. If you are watching this on the YouTube platform, please note that not all of the videos are on YouTube. You need to switch to the BitChute.com or the Odyssey.com channel. And do it now in case you aren't able to later.